We pick up from the view of an older knight, a strange gauntlet on their sword hand, as they look out in the churchyard to see a boy who's just pulled the sword from the stone. Beside them is the Merlin. And with that, let's go ahead and say hello to our features, our players, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into the game. This is Pendragon. We are playing version 6 edition. We are in the year 510. And with that, why don't we kick it over to Thomas first?
Hello, my name is Thomas, and today I will be playing Squire, not Dame yet, Helen of Winterbourne, Stoke, daughter of the Marshal of Salisbury, and not quite knight.
Perfect. And Mark.
Hello, my name is Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and today I will be playing Sir Lucius of Idmiston, the son of the Baron of Axe and the former Earl of Ascalon, who's currently been deposed, so Sir Lucius has to go save his stupid father, who makes stupid decisions.
And we'll go to Sir Jaren next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I play Sir Jaren of Durnford on the show, Sir Jaren the Lesser. He's having a good time. He did really well in the combat, and he's chilling. He's here for a fun time.
Yeah, apparently Jaren's playing Liam and not the other way around, according to
Did I say it the other way around?
No, I did. I referred to you as Sir Jaren. Zach.
Hello, I'm Zack. I'll be playing as Sir Hugon of Newton Manor, the heir to the manor, and hopefully, perhaps bumbling through it, bringing glory and success back to a once great household that's kind of fallen off to the wayside in recent years.
Indeed. And to totally flesh out two characters that are absolutely going to die really early in the plot, Arthur and his foster brother, Sir Kay, we have Drew.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew. I'll be playing Sir Kay, the horrible knight that may have a foster brother who went and pulled a sword out of a stone. We'll see if that ends well.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So before we cut into all of the characters being present here, we're going to do some minor vignettes. We start from the House of Newton, where we see a particular figure we've seen more than once now, Sir Jaren. Sir Jaren is uncle to Sir Hugon, as we know.
The other Sir Jaren.
Yes, another Sir Jaren. Sir Jaren de Newton. How's that go? Sir Jaren de Newton, you are alone here in this moment. Confused, but not without your goals, not without what drives you. For a long time, you've had Sir Perrin, or Percy, or whatever he calls himself now. But in recent weeks, he's been absent, and of course, hasn't really filled you into where he departed to. You are amidst a number of Essex Saxons. They look like they were on their way somewhere when you ran into them and cut them all down, slaughtering them. And they're squires? Some of these folks are riding horses now. Strange. Trying to be knights. These foreigners, these invaders. But yeah, it looks like they were on the way to something important. On the way somewhere.
I think Jaren blinks finally as he holds the cursed sword in one hand. He's always has a hand on the hilt. He looks around. He noticed some of the horses are still alive. That's good. He'll need them for the harsh travels to come. He's been, as of recently, traveling and coming back to Salisbury after being off to the east, slaughtering Saxons wherever he could find them. But now that Saxons have invaded his home county, he too has to return. But it's been a strange time. He's not used to being at home or around those who he shouldn't kill. Being surrounded by Saxons and being in his condition makes it easy, but whenever you have possible friends or allies or family nearby, it makes it harder because as Jaren is realizing once again here, he doesn't know quite how he got here. He knows generally what happened, but the details are fuzzy. Is there anyone still gurgling or breathing? Jaren's going to stomp around looking for one of these infestation, these roaches. Is one live?
Yeah, you find a knight in his early years, early 20s for certain. You hear the wind coming out of his lungs in a way that you can tell is not normal, and he's not long for life, but he breathes nonetheless.
Jaren will stick his sword into the mud beside this dying man and will kneel over. Where were you going to raid? Where were you headed?
We weren't going to raid.
Lies. And a punch to the gut.
Yeah, he starts to cough. This time there's blood that leaves his mouth. London, the Grand Melee. And then his eyes go straight.
Jaren nods more to himself and then looks towards the blade next to him. A raid on London. I suppose that place is still important. We need to check. And he looks towards the blade for a long moment, as if staring at it for far too long a moment. And he nods again before standing and finding a horse.
And with that, we cut away. We see nothing but darkness at first, and then the sudden return of light as we see a very gaunt, disheveled, and unkempt Sir Florence de Idmiston, Sir Florence of the Axe, the father of Sir Lucius. We see a face that we haven't seen in some time for those that have watched the previous chapters. We see the face of Queen Eliabel, King Idris's wife, which is broken, but we see it nonetheless.
Face is broken. Oh no.
Yes.
Aegis hit her hard. Majesty, I would bow, but gestures to his current situation.
Queen Eliabel, I got it wrong, and I'm not sure why I got it wrong, but I did. Queen Eliabel is the sister to Prince Mark. She is Idris's daughter and the wife of Sir Meliodas, who we didn't refer to at the tournament, but we did mention his plain green field of his shield. The person that Lucius, or at least one of the retinues that was with Idris's men when Lucius was trying to figure out more about his father. I told Meliodas that I would at least come and treat with you. Are you well? Well as you can be in these circumstances.
Dead, if that's what you're asking. Does your lord husband ask for me, or is this on your behalf that I receive this audience?
You are too noble of a man to receive such treatment, even if your loyalties were elsewhere. And I am not one to say one way or the other. It's beyond my right, beyond my concern.
I have been nothing but loyal to my king, and he puts his earl in chains, a hero of war. I fought and bled for him, and he puts me here.
You have a reputation for many things, Sir Florence, many good knightly qualities, but that reputation does stop at loyalty. I will petition the King of Cornwall for you to receive better care, perhaps room-bound, not in a dungeon such as this.
I don't know what you speak of, dear lady. I am being treated as a most honored guest by your lord father. See? Procured the most wonderful of chambers. You can tell your lord father I am quite comfortable where I am. No, some more food would be nice.
I can see to that. You should know that there's a grand melee this year. It will decide the king. It will decide the High King.
The day is finally upon us.
And with that, we cut over. Oh, go ahead.
Just as this moment, he just kind of slumps over and then begins praying to himself and just is completely almost like gone visually. He's clearly lost his mind a little. Anyway.
Slumps over and immediately dies.
Right. As Eliabelle goes to exit, we see the guard open the door for her. And we see a young boy, somewhere between 5 and 8, hard to say, certainly short. He just stares in, wide-eyed at you, and then he steps aside. He takes his mother's hand, and the two exit. Come, Tristan. We must depart. And the door shuts, and we immediately cut over to Edric, who is just cleaning up on the battlefield of the Grand Melee, having fought hard and valiantly. Well, let's see how well you did. These are going to be score numbers, so I want you to give me a battle roll against 7, a sword roll against 7, and a horsemanship roll against 7.
Let's do it.
So you have to get 7 or higher on each of those.
Hopefully he doesn't embarrass himself.
Immediately knocked out in the first round.
God, I hope not. All right, battle, doing good. Sword, doing excellently. Horsemanship might not be that great. Horsemanship, fail.
I think you fought hard, you fought valiantly, you fought towards the end ranks, probably the last 20, when lots of men, knowing full well who you are, led a overwhelming charge into you. Several combatants managed to push you off your horse. Perhaps one of them got a cheap shot on your horse.
It's definitely a pushing out of bounds situation.
Yeah.
Because in a duel, he's damn good.
You clean up, though, and as you look about the field, completely unaware that your squire of a daughter just fought in it.
Yes.
You see that a retinue of... Not a retinue. I had a better word for it last time. You see almost like a very organized exit of knights that seem to be all moving in one particular direction. Something must have happened. No one seems in a panic about it, but there seems to be a great amount of buzz about it, let's say.
There doesn't seem to have been a murder. His eyes slide over to King Lot. More's the pity. I think he will try to follow the crowd, slipping across and seeing what is happening. Of course, seeing to the well-being of his earl, who is also on the field.
Yeah, we'll say that we'll give Robert and you a moment, because we haven't really visited Robert much in the last bit. Robert looks to you. Well, Sir Edric, you did well.
As did you, my earl. I doubt either of us was in the running for High King in particular, but we'll see what the Collegium thinks. Another unimpressed look at Lot, but he inclines his head towards the crowd and goes, but something has the attention of near everyone.
Yes, as I wonder what it is. And I wanted to apologize to you. Your daughter and her friends sought me out about seeing to her knighting beforehand, but in the mix of the chaos, we lost track of her, and I'm not quite certain what
Admittedly,
happened.
While I am certain she is disappointed that she did not take part, perhaps the heart of a father is eased somewhat by her not being involved with some of the greatest knights in Logres. Accidents do happen, as we are all too aware.
Yes, you're right on that. It's good to see that Virgil fought well here as well.
Yes. The only disappointment is that, well, none of us were the last man standing. Though Sir Hugon comported himself excellently. The last 10, I believe, before he was diverted.
Indeed. Such a young knight to do so well.
That is the way of things. The new generation moves into the space left by the old, and we guide them how we can.
Perhaps he takes after his uncle more than his father.
His father was no slouch with a blade, but definitely his uncle's inferior.
And with that, Sir Edric, you hear in the crowd, A boy has pulled the sword from the stone.
In this, the last 20 years of the campaign that we've been running runs through his head and all of the prophecies, and he says, I'll be right back. and moves as quickly as his old age will let him to exactly where that's happening. He moves with the speed of a man 20 years younger, so still fairly old. Let's go.
So Edric, is not known for his dexterity in these aging years. Several arrows to the knee, and javelins to the knee, and other implements to the knee. Nevertheless,
it's the same knee each time, which is the worst part of it.
We cut over to another view now, as we see Merlin and the figure that stood beside him, Sir Perrin, or Percy, or the Black Dog, whatever he's known by.
It's still Percy.
Sir Percy, I'm going to suggest something for you, and you can feel free to intervene, Liam, or, rebuttal on this. I think you learned from Merlin in a dream that the boy would pull the sword from the stone here. I think that you purposefully exited the presence of Sir Jaron de Newton, knowing his animosity towards young children and knightings.
I don't think it even got that far in terms of needing to logic that out. I think bringing Jaron around this many people with weapons in general, several of which are Saxons, was a non-starter.
We cut to you as you look upon the boy who looks terrified as he's just pulled this sword from the stone, because a crowd has formed around him, and he didn't expect that. It's clear he's a bit in over his head. As you look amongst the crowd, which was 20, is now 40, and will soon be hundreds, you hear someone come to a stop just beside you. Are you horsed or are you on your feet?
I think I'm horsed to provide a sense of legitimacy to this, and I also think I'm wearing a big, heavy red scarf around my face to try to hide the lower part, and I also think I've cut my hair to look different than even most people know Percy as. Since he's been here with Merlin, he's been he's been seen but not heard. He's stood here guard to make sure that this moment comes to pass without incident.
Do you think we've done what we need to? Do you think the boy is ready?
Who's saying this? Is this Merlin speaking?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't sound as certain as he normally sounds.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's a fucked up thing for him to do for all the shit that I've done over my life for him. I think Perrin sits there for a second, and he blinks, and he goes, I think ours is to pave a road. Now we see if he walks it. All our preparation, everything we've done to control where that road leads him, it was always ever going to take us up to a point. Now we have to have faith.
He says nothing in response. He just stares at the boy ahead. And with that, we cut away as the crowd is forming around the boy. Sir Ector rides ahead quickly and dismounts after his foster son. We look to Sir Kay to see his response to this. Drew, my friend. Sir Kay, as the camera pans in on you, up ahead you see your brother, Arthur.
Hey, looks around, first at his brother holding the sword, and then at the crowd that is amassing, all these knights, all these warriors, and he looks to his brother's face, looking for what emotion he's showing as he sees that fear and that hesitation. He begins pushing his way through the crowd, sliding between, pulling through, trying to make it to his brother so that he can stand next to him.
You do so easily, manage to push your way through the knights as you reach Arthur and Ector, who's just dismounted. You hear your father say, Arthur, did you pull this sword? He looks confused. It's clear that Ector wasn't anticipating this. The boy looks terrified. And then he looks to Kay and then back to Ector and says, "Yes, I'm sorry I couldn't find Kay's sword. I left it in the tent and someone must have taken it."
When he starts stammering like that, Kay's jaw clenches as he puts a comforting hand on his brother's shoulder, and he kneels beside him to one knee. "That doesn't matter now, brother, as you support me." Oh, go ahead.
Continue your thought.
"As you support me, you are not in trouble, and I support you." And he stands looking out to the crowd, just daring anybody to challenge this.
Almost on cue, we see the crowd begin to form. Sir Urians, King Urians, is the first to speak out. And he says, "What is all this matter?" And someone says, "It's the boy. He pulled the sword." And there's kind of a bit of astonishment at that. I mean, it's clear, but I think people are still trying to cope their way through understanding how this is even possible. So many knights have tried. Almost every knight who's come to London has tried to pull that sword. And Urian sneers and says, "Is this some kind of trick? A boy?" And King Leodegrance, of all people, rides forward and dismounts. A man that looks very much like Sir Patrick Stewart he's with armor, approaches, and he looks to Arthur and he says, "Put the sword back." The boy looks to Ector, but Ector trusts Leodegrance. Leodegrance has a really good reputation, and Ector says, do as he says. And Arthur does, in fact, put the sword back, and it seems to go right into the stone again, almost like he was putting it into butter. And then Leodegrance steps forward, both hands on the hilt of the sword, and he pulls, and he grunts, and nothing happens. He steps aside. As you see, the boy has pulled the sword. He is the rightful heir of Uther Pendragon. Lot arrives at this point. King Lot, the victor of the Grand Melee. For all intents and purposes, the rightful heir, the rightful High King, according to the rules that the Supreme Collegium has set. He dismounts real close to everyone, almost bowling people over, even his own men, as Lot walks forward to the sword and tries to pull the sword, and grunts and spits at the feet of Arthur before walking back to his horse. And with this, just as all of this is happening, is about the time we zoom in on our 4-player characters: Helen, Sir Lucius, Sir Jaren, and Sir Hugon.
There's probably a susurration of whispers that has echoed through the crowd, perhaps some of them saying the same thing that Helen is about to, but not quite followed by the same words. In an awed voice, "The king! I headbutted the king!"
Who's that?
Squire. I encountered him briefly.
They're making a squire king?
He pulled the sword from the stone.
Who made that rule anyway?
He doesn't look particularly kingly. He's kind of scrawny.
He's really scrawny. I thought we were doing a tournament to decide who was king. Was that what the sword and the stone was for?
As far as I know, it's a prophecy of some kind. But I know not from where, but
The heir of Uther Pendragon.
And thus the rightful heir of the throne.
Well, why did we come out here for then?
The heir was lost. Everyone knew that. Everyone thought that.
Well, clearly he's not that lost. He's right there.
Hugon's
right there too.
Hugon's looking over the crowd. I don't think
like you.
No. I can see what you're saying, but I don't think so.
I don't think this is a good thing. Hugon grumbles. There was a reason we did this tournament, and it had a conclusion. And it had been decided. We all agreed. And I'm sure the victors aren't happy about whatever this is.
You would prefer King Lot be High King.
I didn't really like Lot.
No one likes Lot.
I don't, but does that mean I would like some child to be? We have a war to fight, and if this is going to be our leader...
If the rumors, if the prophecy is true, then if this is the son of Uther Pendragon, the seat is his by law. That does not change, like you said, the outcome of the tournament. I do believe Lot will stop at nothing to eliminate this last obstacle between him and rulership of Locals.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, he participated in this tournament like everybody else. That means he's got some sense of honor.
With that, we cut and we see Arthur pull the sword once more, again coming out of the stone as if it were put in butter. He holds it high at the prompting of Sir Ector. Hold the sword for all to see. With this, Leo de Grance takes a knee, and several other older knights.
If you will allow it, so will Edric, the Marshal of Salisbury.
We're being vague with them and their presence, but absolutely.
Fair enough.
We do see, though, that as many of the knights begin to bow, much as Sir Hugon speculated, we hear Sir King Lot say, "I will not bow the knee to some beardless bastard." And with that, he spurs many of the northern knights and kings, who all kind of gather around him, and they ride off.
Calamitous. But yes.
I think with that, Lucius would step forward and would kneel as well.
Question for you, Bob. I think Jaren's also going to kneel, but just before he does, when people are starting to get low and there's more visibility, what's Cornwall doing?
Okay. I will answer that in a second. We'll put a pause on that thought as
we'll put a little
Jaren's...
pin in that.
Yeah. Hugon, what is Hugon doing?
Hugon's actually conflicted. He is looking towards where his allies are and seeing what they're doing, but he finds this he's not the one for super intrigue, but he finds this timing to be crazy. We just concluded who was going to be High King, and this happens, and it doesn't sit well with him. But if his people of Salisbury are kneeling, he will kneel after a long moment in contemplation.
And Helen took a knee, remember?
Helen will take a knee, though she is not a knight. This is equivalent of someone seeing a celebrity or something, just fully awestruck by a prophecy occurring and something miraculous happening. I think she will absolutely offer her blade, such as it is, even though she's a squire.
Drew, you had something you were about to say?
At this moment, as people begin to kneel, Kay looks out to the crowd. He walks in front of his brother, holding that sword up high. Your fealty to this land was through me as my squire, and my fealty as a knight is to the king of this land. And he kneels before his brother, eyes locked on his brother's eyes. A stern glare, protective, maybe a little resentful, but trying to set a good example for everybody, including his brother.
For all those that bent the knee, give me a roll on 3d6. A roll of 3d6, rather.
17.
Whoops, I've reloaded the page. Hang on. 9. Get on my level.
That will be your homage to Arthur. Your homage, Arthur.
Man. Actually, that makes sense. I don't know who this I don't think it is.
You don't get it. This is going to change the government.
So, one thing I want to note for Hugon, as you kind of were a little more skeptical and looking around, you ended up beside Robert. Robert dismounts and looks around, and when he sees Duke Ulfius bend the knee, his eyes narrow suspiciously towards the boy, but he does bend the knee as well.
Thank God. I didn't break him too much.
Yeah, that would be very embarrassing.
Fuck this. It was an option. If he was just a little more wicked of a character, you could be from an enemy of Arthur's county, or a county that's an enemy of Arthur, really.
If Virgil had a little less honor himself, I think we would have been fucked.
Okay. Arthur looks confused. He looks to Kay and he says, "What are you doing? Stand. Why are you bowing to me, brother? Father." And go ahead.
You are the heir to the throne, foster brother, and therefore, as a knight, am in your service.
Arthur looks confused, and he looks at Hector, and he says, "Foster, father, what does Kay speak of? Why?" Hector frowns and says, "It's true, my boy. Long ago, the magician known as Merlin, the wanderer, the druid, he brought you to me. He made me swear an oath that I would not speak of your whereabouts, of your origin, until a time where you were of," he frowns, "where you were ready to hear it." And Arthur looks betrayed. This was his dad, like, an hour ago? You know? This was his brother. What do you mean I'm somebody else? And with that, Merlin does step forward. "It is true. This is the missing boy Arthur, son of King Uther Pendragon, rightful heir of Logris, grandson of High King Constantine. You owe him your allegiance. All of you owe your allegiance.
Question, Bob. Hugon, it seems like he's biting his tongue immediately, very painfully. But question on the Winter Prince, was the Winter Prince ever heralded as the son of Uther eventually, or was that like something that wasn't public?
It was rumored.
He was heralded that he was the heir of Uther.
Okay.
And many jumped to the conclusion that that meant he was the son of Uther. What became sort of knowledge in the last year. Why don't you do an intrigue roll, Hegan?
Intrigue. Oh, it's a crit.
Apparently you really needed, after the battle that you were a part of where he fell, it seems that he was being propped up by the late King Nantelion and was in fact of Uther's lineage, but by way of his father, Matic. He was a bastard son of King Uther Pendragon. But Matic was recognized by his father, and it would have been
bastard.
Yeah, a legitimized bastard. Exactly.
Okay. Well, I think Hugon was visibly about to say something, to ask a question, not like get angry and yell something, but just question. But he holds it in. There's perhaps a muffled something before he closes his mouth.
Go ahead, Thomas.
I think, if there's an appropriate time, there might be a hail from Helen. This is exciting.
What a fun day.
The terror is to come, but at the moment, this is phenomenal. I just got 17 on my homage. I'm already famously in favor of this guy somehow.
If there's a moment, I mean, I don't know how long we're all kneeling for, but Hugon's going to approach Merlin. You know, the guy that we all hear is half demon and stuff.
And is fully wanted by every court.
Yeah, is a wanted criminal, by the way.
Yep. Indeed.
I mean, aren't we all wanted criminals in somebody's court, you know?
Not at the moment. Give it a couple minutes.
So, I think it makes sense that Edric would be the one to lead the hail to the king, followed by Helen and all others that might do so.
Indeed. He's privy to a lot of information, which is coming in handy.
We cut over then as sort of the acknowledgement of him as king occurs. There's sort of a third test of the sword. This one is to be before the Archbishop Dubricus and the church to recognize him. Now, Dubricus is the one that organized the Collegium to make this grand melee a legitimate thing. This boy with the sword, for it to really matter in the eyes of law, it needs to be recognized by the church as well. While that's happening, we cut over to Hugon. You have your moment where you find Merlin kind of alone within the crowd.
And anyone could join Hugon. Hugon seems driven to go to find this wizard, though. Hugon was a lot more confident before he got to Merlin. And now that he stands in front of him, he, maybe even if he towers over him with his size, he still seems to shrink a bit. He's not sure what kind of magics this old man can conjure, if he can turn him into a toad or something unnatural. You are Merlin, truly.
The old man looks to you. His eyes, two different colors. One almost seems to shift in the sunlight, enough to add to his... It's enough of a descriptive trait or feature to add to his son of the devil montage, or, But he looks to Hugin nonetheless. De Newton, your uncle served us. He served King Uther when they retrieved the sword from the lake.
That kind of took the wind out of his sails as far as questioning. He opens his mouth and closes it. Yes, my uncle. He has been gone for a long time now, perhaps dead. But anyway, you are... I haven't heard a pardon, but you are a criminal. You stole a baby from the once King Uther.
I stole nothing. The king offered the baby to me, and I gave him what he wanted.
But I heard there was a whole trial. My uncle was involved in it, over your escape. Why would there be a hunt after you if it was...
Uther was many things. An honest man who's not one of them.
the knight standing behind him fist pumps the air. No, he doesn't do that.
Hugon looks confused. I suppose I didn't know Uther, but what does that mean for his son? Pulling a sword out of stone, what does this mean in reality? We know nothing about this Arthur. Nobody does. You've hidden him away.
I believe, young knight, that we will all see his caliber soon enough.
Hope that you are correct. All of our lives depend on it. The Saxons, and it almost like a light bulb goes off. Hugon looks to where the Saxons may have been. Are they like cackling and laughing? What are they doing?
The Saxons actually stand in league with Cornwall, since you asked about it prior. You see that they are not bending the knee. They are observing.
Hugon watches for a second, his eyes narrowing. This tournament was to unite Logris against many foes that would take it. And now we are fractured again.
I believe you'll find that Logris will stand united again. But the boy, and anyone who would contest for a high king, they will have to prove it on the battlefield.
And does that include this King Arthur? Will he be on the battlefield?
I believe he will. There's something about the way he says that, too, that's kind of like, it almost feels like he's got like some kind of insider knowledge or something. That's the vibe you get.
Merlin?
Yeah, Hugon.
No, I don't think so.
Hugon already is chafing under the cryptic words of this old man. It's heretic, or I don't know. He shakes his head, not sure what to think. And before Hugon goes, he says, "Are you to stay and advise? I heard you were an advisor in the past and not so much a wanderer."
If he should wish it, I will not force the boy into any such thing.
And yet you've set this up.
Well, that's not entirely true. Grins.
Hugon also grins, but it's not a happy grin. It's like this piece of shit
guy.
And I think that Hugon will walk away at that.
We cut back to Arthur as he pulls the sword a third time before the Bishop of London and the Archbishop. And it's here that the Archbishop Dubricus, who is, by the way, a villain in another game, turns to everybody and says, "All have come and paid witness. The boy has pulled the sword from the stone. And we believe then that he is in fact the son, the missing son," he glares in the direction of Merlin, "of Uther Pendragon. We will see that he is named tomorrow, and he will be knighted." Or he says, he will say, "and he must be knighted." We're going to follow a couple of different vignettes, and then move into the next point here. We're going to start with Sir Hugin. In the aftermath, as things start to sort of tame, we see, because Hugin's up first, you learn that the sword is being taken by the lords and the church. It'll be held in the cathedral overnight and sworn to an honor, or held by an honor guard that will protect it on the king's behalf. What do you want to get up to?
Who do I want to get up to? Tegan Wynn, where is my Hugin's? Well, it's going to be something, hopefully. He hopes.
You set out to find Tegan Wynn. Let's go ahead and roll a d10 and see if you hit any curveballs on the way.
Just like his uncle, he's letting himself get led around by his sword.
Yep, it's hereditary.
Okay, and then give me an awareness or recognize roll to find her.
Okay, got it.
You can tick that if it's not already ticked.
All right.
All right. And you managed to find Tegan Wynn. She's was part of the crowd watching on, and you find her exiting with Lady Jenna. There we go. Took me a second to context load. Jenna is sort of talking with probably Ufo and her father-in-law Ulfius. So, I mean, it wouldn't be rude to interrupt.
He will, when he finds a small lull in the conversation, he will take a few steps up, give a small bow. My lord, my lady, I was wondering if I could call upon Lady Tegan Wynn.
Ufo just nods your way, recognizing you from the battle. Probably is the first time he'd really... no, he knew you from the year before. You were one of the figures that alerted them of the invasion of Wessex, or Wessex invading Salisbury, as it were. So he says, so Hugin, yes, of course. Well, he actually stops himself. He's like, if my lady wife? And she nods. Of course, Sir Hugin. She will give you the medieval equivalent of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, as you...
Yeah, I think Hugon, he blushes for a second from Lady Jenna, specifically because Lady Jenna watched Hugon trip and fall and smash his face and slip in the mud, the whole train wreck of just trying to talk to Lady Tegan Wynn in the past. But he straightens up and gives a thankful nod. And where I seem to be having a hard time finding her, could you give me some directions?
Directions?
Yes, London. We're still in London, right? I haven't visited too much, and I'm afraid to admit that I'm not quite sure where she's at currently.
Sorry, directions for...
Tegan Wynn. Lady where...
As established, you saw her right behind. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. She's right there in the retinue.
He will step to the side and give a smile to Lady Tegan Wynn.
Yeah, there's that too. There's that awkward exchange where they both go to talk twice and interrupt each other.
Do you have a moment? Could you spare one?
Of course, Sir Knight de Newton. She's playing overly formal, given who's present. If my lady doesn't need me, and Lady Jenna smiles and sort of waves her on. In almost a dismissive way for someone that saw that was walking by, think, wow, that was rude. But you can tell they're closer than that. You know, this is just a friend being nice to another friend. So they step aside.
I think once they're off on their own, Hugon will kind of take a walk, I think, with Tegan Wynn, and will say, quite the exciting first few days here in London.
Indeed. You fought well.
Thank you. It was no small part due to your... Well, I appreciate you being in the crowd and supporting me.
I think she averts like her eyes shyly.
And I think Hugon kind of clears his throat for a second because they're still not super close despite the feelings. And he says, and supporting Logris in our attempts at becoming High King and leading Logris in the right direction. But I suppose that's a bit different now with how the events afterward went.
I can't believe we might have a king again. Father spoke about what that was like.
I agree. I'm a king. I suppose I was alive when the last king of Logris was, but I was far too young.
He nods, kind of in similar agreement. Yes. Far too young. They say that Uther was a mighty king. She kind of leaves it at that. Logris could use one of those.
It could, especially with the Cornwall and Essex, Wessex. Now the North, I don't believe King Lot is too thrilled. We are, in all purposes, surrounded if it came to war in that way. But we have a new king, one from Uther's line, and we have the Merlin. Hugon kind of looks off into the distance, almost suspiciously thinking of Merlin. But we have unity now. Do you think this brings us closer together already? Or are the people still adjusting?
Suppose time will tell. From what I understand, Logris has few in the way of lords that did not bend the knee, and we have support of Elaine and Leo de Grance, of Cornwall. Or not Cornwall, sorry, of Gales. That is the most united I have seen us. Well, perhaps not so. There was the reign of Nanteliad. But many of us here in Silchester were wary of such things. A foreign king from Gales.
It's a lot to consider. And Hugon, he breathes in deep and sighs. As the head of my manor, I suppose a lot of this is going to be needing consideration for many nights to come. Not just for myself, but for my earl and for all of those who are going to be on the king's council. I'm not sure how exactly that is decided, but there should be one.
Indeed. There should be. I have hope. For the first time in a long time. I must admit that hope was dashed. Learning of Lot. I'm sure he's a strong king, but I do not believe we here are meant to be ruled by those beyond the wall.
I agree. I just hope is new. I've always been, hopeful of the day immediate, but the greater future, I've never lived under a great king, one who could lead us all. So it will be new, and I truly hope, this is what we need to reunite all of our peoples. It will take time. But until then, Lady Tiggin, would you care for a light meal? I may have prepared something out in the courtyard by one of the gardens.
And with this, we need a flirting roll from Hugon.
Flirting roll.
Can impassion if you wish.
I can impassion. I should probably impassion Adoration Tegan win, because that would make sense.
It's appropriate.
Yes.
I have a 10 in it, so it's a solid 50-50. Oh no, did not get it. So what happens in the new edition?
Still exploring that. My understanding is we have to confirm that there's any sort of melancholy here, so why don't you roll another, test it again, same number. If you fail it again, nothing.
All right, I'm going to impassion my impassion. Oh, I succeeded.
That is bad.
That would be a melancholy. But let's see. I'm still working with the rules here a bit. It's hard to explain these sometimes. You don't get the immediate negative to the next roll anyways, right? It comes in after the fact? Or maybe
comes later.
Oh, you know what? I think the negative comes immediately, but the melancholy doesn't. I think that's how it goes.
I think he gets so nervous he throws up on her.
Well, I haven't rolled the flirting roll. What if I failed the flirting roll?
Roll a flirting roll. It might make more sense, right? If you fail it. So -5 on the flirting.
Okay, I have a 2 then to get this. So almost a botch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think at this point, you look like you do this. You say you're quite confident. You've set up time and effort to make this happen. And then you see a number of the handmaidens giggling, and she looks to Sir Hugo, and she's like, I should go return to my duties. You got an advantage redeemed. All right, so you're going to get another shot at this.
Thank you.
So
re-rolling with against a 2 again?
Yeah,
Would it make more sense to re-roll the
yeah.
passion?
We'll let it go back to the passion this time. There is a 30-second delay.
I want to see him fumble this bag again. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
Not get it. Fate is cruel. This is going to be one long hoarding.
Yeah.
Roll
roll again. You might fail again, and then you'd be all good. Yeah, there you go.
You're fine.
There you go.
Okay.
So you can make a flirting roll at base now. Importantly, you won't be melancholic. So.
Oh, it was close. Still no closer.
I think that exact scene plays out still, where she says, "I can't." Excuse me, but I think rather than being left with melancholy from it, Hugin's like, "It's matters of duty." I get it. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think he, instead of being put off for all the effort, I think he is already planning in his head possible date ideas or ways to have more private moments and talks. Instead of dwelling on that it didn't work this time, I think he will give a small and understanding nod and bow, because he understands duty as well.
Indeed. We go next to cut away to one more scene here, and then I have a scene I have to play out. But the others will have opportunities still in this session, just not right now. This goes to Sir Jaren, unless you'd rather pass Liam and have one of the others have a moment. Do you have anything specific that you were aiming to do, that you want to do in these moments following the sword?
Well,
being taken to the cathedral.
I don't think I have anything for Sir Jaren at this moment, other than potential interactions with other characters, which I think would work best after their moments. But I do have a pitch for you for a single, very short Perrin moment. I think Perrin's tummy hurts a lot being here and seeing faces that he recognizes, and I think he's looking very particularly for his own family heraldry. Does he see it?
Give me a recognize roll +5. Or heraldry on that sheet, actually. Or recognize +5.
Recognize, yeah, there's no heraldry, it's just a recognize.
+5.
+5. That says Jaren, but that is Perrin.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, you find not only your heraldry, but heraldry similar with 3 black spurs on it.
I think he's far less interested in seeing his brother again, as he is. He hasn't seen his son since his son was, I think, still an infant. Would have been very young, and I think while keeping his distance, he takes a risk. And despite every fiber in his being telling him that it's a bad idea, I think he tries to get just close enough that he can see Jaren, like really see him.
And you do. You see your son presumably kind of taking off his armaments. I mean, after all, you were wearing them for the melee and you didn't have time to fully undo after everything that was done. So as he unequips himself, kind of in the field ahead, Sir Perrin spies his son.
I need to test something. Interesting.
Indeed.
I think he debates something, but before he has an opportunity to act on it, the moment passes. I think he's sitting there really contemplating doing something, and before too long, he's pulled away either by someone who knows who he really is and knows that he's taking a risk, or by the moment passing and Jaren moving on to do his next thing.
Okay.
I think that's it.
I've got a perfect scenario for that. You look up as you contemplate, and you hear the clearing of a throat as someone walks close to you. You see Brastius.
Forgive me, Sir Knight. Am I in your way?
No. Why don't you come and walk with me? We have some things to catch up on.
Yes, I suppose you're right. And Perrin will go with him.
We are going to cut away from this scene in a moment, but as they walk, Brastius says, the lords of the land and the Archbishop believe that one without lordship ought to be the one to knight the boy. And I wanted to let you know that our names are both in the running.
I'm just a mercenary, and not one nearly as famous and well-beloved as you, Brastius.
No, you're more well-known once we factor in every identity and name you've come to know yourself as over the years, Sir Perrin. Nor have I. I let 2 lords die.
2 old failures who have stumbled our way into success, then, it seems, for now.
My father used to say that sometimes success was simply living on while others die.
Can't claim to have had that pleasure. I wonder, when the boy is knighted, what will you do? Where will you go? You continue to serve him. There are many ways to serve.
I haven't really thought it that far. I swore to no lord because I knew that he was out there. Merlin told me. In a dream. I believed it. But now that he's here, if he does not require my service, perhaps it's time to retire.
Well, I of course have my reasons to want to remain nameless in this. I don't think. Perrin died for a reason. I'm not sure many would understand if that deception came to light. But if it is you or me, I'll defer to your preference, Brastius, not mine. You've earned a right to choose something, I think.
He nods to that. With that, we shift away from those scenes. We see Arthur now in the keep. The White Tower of London is one of quite the past as of late. While Uther's bastard daughter was murdered here just a few years back, it's also a place that's never really truly been sieged. The township itself, perhaps, but not the White Tower. As Kay returns to his new quarters, trying to adjust from the simple tents that he was just in to a castle, you hear a faint knock on the door. It's open, of course, and you turn to see Arthur.
Kay, having just looked around the room, trying to come to grips with everything that has happened, and what his role in all this is, something he never expected. He had gone to the tournament to have a good showing for his family, and now everything had changed. He turns, seeing Arthur, and he takes a breath, his head going back a bit. Yes, Your Majesty. And he tilts his head a little bit to the side, looking for the boy's eyes.
He looks a little defeated as he's called Your Majesty. You know, I think the one place he hoped to not be this brand new position that he hasn't wrapped his head around is with his family. And he looks to Kay and he says, I know people are calling me Uther's son. And perhaps it's true. But in my eyes, brother, Sir Ector is my father. And you are my brother. I've known no other life.
Arthur, I've never taken it easy on you. And I can't tell you that I'm going to now, because I've been trying to prepare you for a world that I hoped you would never see. But understand this. No matter who you came from, it doesn't change who your family is. And you don't let anybody tell you differently. You understand?
I do. He clears his... Father had but one request for me. And I'll admit that I would not be wise enough in the ways of ruling to have even thought of it, but I do wholly accept. Brother, Sir Kay, I wish you to be my seneschal.
There's a moment, that moment of an older brother looking at a younger sibling, and also considering his father had asked for it. He had his own dreams, and those are going to have to wait for another day, maybe another lifetime. If me keeping your kingdom under balance and under key is what you would have me do for you, I will do it. And understand, that does mean that there are going to be times where I have to be even tougher on you than I normally would. Because now it's not about you and I, it's about everybody. I will always have to do the right thing. And so should you.
Right. I won't deny that everything about this intimidates me. I find myself asking how I would respond if I saw a weak king. And so I accept your terms. I heard many things about this Uther. If they are all true, he was strong, but he was flawed. I wish to be more than him. Better than him.
Part of the stories of Uther that you should remember every day and every morning when you wake up. It was more about himself. Your role in this is to make sure that people are given the opportunity to be who they are and do what they're good at. Everybody's going to have advice for you. Everybody's going to doubt you. Give the people the opportunity to do what they do best. Take their advice and then go to the people you trust to discuss it. Never make a rash decision. And make sure no matter what you do, it's about your people and not about you.
We cut away that scene. I want to know all who... I believe we had 3 of the 4 of you knocked out during the melee, right?
Yup.
Early on, or not early. Sorry, really late on, but all in one go as the numbers dwindle. Okay. So the night passes. Yes.
Which night?
Right? It's a fair point.
I'm safe.
My eyes are fading.
Sir Kay, can you come and give that advice to our Earl as well? Because I think he needs to hear it.
Oh, you think he's
I'm
mean
sorry,
to his
are
brother?
you eating the consequences of your actions now?
Virgil's very pleased. Well, no, he's not. He's mad right now. He's mad at a lot of people.
Okay. We cut to the next day. The ceremonies go on as one would expect. We see Arthur named here. Everyone give me intrigue rolls.
Simply must get knighted in better stats. That is a failure by 1.
I simply must get united.
Hooray.
That's a failure by 6.
Okay, so Lucius, you learn that and Kay, it makes sense that Kay would be aware. You learn that the plan is to have Arthur named here, and then the royal procession will proceed to Carline, where he will be named king once more. And that is the final step to him being sort of recognized as the High King. But that's all the way across, that's into Wales. So that's it's a good distance
bit of an issue
away.
with that. It's quite far away.
And like a year ago, they were in civil war, but it's fine. They have a king now.
It's fine. They're mostly stable. Kinda.
Wales did kind of pledge fealty, so it should be fine, maybe.
Right?
Well, some of them did. Some of them did.
Lucius, you can tick intrigue if you don't have it ticked already.
Ooh, wonderful.
We cut over Helen. Robert pulls you aside. Did you fight in the grand melee?
I did. No point in lying. She's not a deceitful person.
All right, well, I know how you fought alongside me as a squire once. I'm not too far your senior, even though I am very much your senior.
Yes, Maya.
The way I see it, we have a couple of options here. You see, a few of our knights recognize you on the battlefield, and this limits my options. They would expect me to reprimand you, perhaps even revoking your right to knighthood altogether.
Possibility that I considered, though not one I hope occurs.
Well, I know how you favor your honesty, right? You do. What's your number in honest, by the way?
My honest is currently 10, but my honor is famous, so
yeah,
not a liar.
Well, no one needs to know that I didn't knight you prior.
That would, I think, work very well, my lord.
Very good.
I'm glad you don't disapprove as such. I just wanted to fight for my county in the best way I could, and I did better than I thought I might.
I will prepare the space to knight you here. Should you ever embarrass me with this, Helen, I will take it very personally as a grudge.
My lips are sealed. It's all I've ever wanted.
And we see the equivalent of the Las Vegas marriage occur in the form of a knighting ceremony.
United.
Who's that guy? Thank you very much.
There's a room prepared in the castle. There are knights, personal guards, standing guard. Bar is one of them. Sir Bar is one of them. You pass through. You say the words. Robert is hesitant to strike you because you are of the female gender, and he doesn't respond particularly well to that.
And about twice his size.
Tonight, the king. They've chosen said someone who served the king. There were many who fought for the boy that went missing. Many who fought for a land with no king at all. And as from those ranks, a name was chosen. Sir Percy, if you could step forward.
There is just the tiniest, briefest look of pure horror on his face that is immediately replaced by a straightening of his back, and he reaches up and he removes the scarf that's been obscuring his face, and he steps forward.
Arthur stands tall, having had a night to adjust, to prepare himself, and to fake it until he can make it. He looks to Sir Percy, and he readies himself. I believe it's a position of kneeling, yes? I believe that will be the case.
Perrin is, for the first time ever, face to face with the boy that he has been chasing and protecting for around half his life now. And I think he sees an earnestness in this kid. And I think for the first time it really hits him that it is still just a kid. And I think he breaks form for just a moment to say something to Arthur before he commences the ceremony. And he goes, "You don't have to do this. If you don't want to, okay. This is a great day. Here before me stands the candidate to join our glorious institution of knighthood, witnessed by their family and by this court. Squire, tell me your name."
Arthur, son of... Son of Uther.
Are you prepared to now shed the ordinary life and take upon yourself the dangerous task of protecting all of Logris and its allies from their foes? And let this be the last time you are struck without just recourse. And Perrin's going to hit him hard. He's not going to hit him hard enough that he'll risk knocking him down, but he's going to let the blow sting.
I think Kay told him that he needs to get hit hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so he winces afterwards. I
think Perrin will help steady him. And he goes, "From now on, may no one strike you without you striking back."
And with that, the new court of King Arthur of Logris. Cheers and many swords are raised. And now, the procession to Gales, to the city of Caerleon. For Arthur is the king of Logris, but he must next be the king of Britain, a high king. Last seen, a position vacant since the days of his uncle, Aurelius. 30 years. And with that, we close our session. Well, guys, this is a beautiful game, and I thought it was important that we took the time to show effort and decisions made by the players for 4 years now of game. A lot of these things have come to play out a certain way because of the players' decisions across their households. And yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. From here on out, we'll see more from the perspective of our young knights than those of our fathers, but we needed a proper hand down. And of course, there's still some matters with certain people in deposed cells and such that need to be addressed. But aside from those will be seen through the eyes of our new characters. Before we close here, why don't we go ahead and do some outros for all our gang? We'll start with Thomas.
Hello and goodbye. I have been Thomas, playing now Dame Helen, Knight of Salisbury, and having a wonderful time. Now, one of the first and most fervent supporters of the soon-to-be crowned King Arthur. It has been a delight getting to this point, and as we leave anarchy, well, as anarchy draws to a close and the reign of the Boy King gets more sure, it's going to be a good time, I'm certain. But yes, thank you for watching, and thank you for running, Bob.
And Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy-dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. Lots of fun things on there, such as shit posting and memes, as well as notifications on whenever we go live, as well as new projects we are always working on. My cat is currently losing his fucking mind. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You can find me over at the Cat's Meow, where I run some vampire stuff. I will be running, tomorrow, I'll be doing some video games with some friends, and then later in the week on Thursday at 9 p.m. EST, or 9:30 p.m. EST, you can find me and a bunch of people playing Vampire the Masquerade Orphaned Blood. You can also find me in other places around. If you click on my channel name, you can find me pop up in places. Thank you very much for watching. I have been playing Sir Lucius of Idmiston, son of the deposed Earl of Ascalon. And please join us next week, or further in our adventure, as we find out what the fuck is going to happen to him. Sir Florence is currently rotting away in a cell. Yeah, that's me.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I played Sir Jaren, the Lesser of Durnford, and a little bit of his father, Sir Perrin of Durnford, also known as Percy the Black Dog. What a nice moment. Thank you for everybody who has been with us for this long and who's seen to follow along with our characters as they've changed and grown and gone up and down and went mad and went sad. But I'm really, really excited for this new era. And thank you so much, everybody who's here in stream and out, for being a part of it.
Hello, it's Zack again. I got to play my original character in this series, Sir Jaren, perhaps a cursed knight at this point, but also Sir Hugin, it would be his nephew and the heir to Newton Manor. I don't know where this is going. I mean, I have a guess, but Merlin also did this before, finding a magic sword and giving it to a would-be king. So we'll see how well this goes for the second try here. I think there's going to be a lot of skeptical people, despite people kneeling.
Good observations. And Drew.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew. This evening I was playing Sir Kay. Really glad to be a part of this and help Bob out where I can. So everybody has a great night and see you next time.
I'm going to do my shout outs as quick as I can, and then I'm going to just kind of make a couple of notes and comments. So first off, we'll start with all the goodies we got going on. We're back for the Land and the King on Tuesday, which is kind of the sibling to this one. We are there. We are joined by Professor Tone of Mortal Roles, who will be beginning his role as Balin. So you can watch some of that, and will be joining us for both of the Brothers of Sauvage, and we just won't have them both at the same place at the same time. But yeah, we'll see both of them nonetheless. We also have on Fridays a Hyborian-style game set in the mythic age of World of Darkness, where the players are all on a chain gang as slaves that are going to break free, and the story will begin from there. Very Conan-esque, but in, mythic age World of Darkness. So, yeah, I think it'll be good. It's an experiment. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Join us Fridays if you want to see that. In addition to this, we have a 3-part series starting up to the last Saturday of November, and that'll be a 3-part series called Days of Darkness. It's set in the Byzantine Empire, and in the last year of the reign of Constantine VI. And the Days of Darkness reference is a reference. It's pretty literal. So we're going to see where this goes soon. We are joined by Mark of the Cat's Meow here. We also have Zack rejoining from Crown of Thorns. We have Ree, or Sorcery Arts, from Mortal Rules. And finally, we have Emmeline, who will be joining us. She is a variety streamer, but she also does quite a bit of actual play and roleplay stuff. So you can look forward to that soon. And then finally, we have Paula Deming joining us for a two-shot. Paula Deming of the Glass Cannon Network, nevertheless, joining us for a two-shot of Call of Cthulhu. And you'll be hearing more of that. That will be in December. We're also in talks to do a little bit more of different games, especially those that have good responses. So if you like some of the other projects we do, make sure you point those ones out to us, because we will follow what the fans like. So, yeah. With that, that's the end of my shout outs, but I just want to simply say that this game is magical. This is where we got started. I think it was touching to see all the, even Florence in a prison. I think there's something touching about that scene too. But it's cool to see the game continue. This is a game about generations, and it seems like it would do it injustice if you just ignored the generation before it and carried on.